Birth of a Nation. Wait, no. Not that one. Not that one. Let's try this again, shall we? Birth of a Nation is Nate Parker's first film, a project that he worked on for 7 years, and it tells the story of history's most violent and bloody slave rebellion, which was led by Nat Turner in 1831 and resulted in the death of 60 slave owners and their families, along with 200 slaves. The film opens and we see Nat as a young child with a white boy as his friend. We soon learn that Nat is considered special due to his ability to read, and he's given further reading lessons by Elizabeth Turner, the plantation owner's wife, played by the lovely Penelope Ann Miller. She takes him under her wing, gives him reading lessons, and then in turn gives him a Bible. This leads to Nat growing up to not only be a field hand, but a preacher as well. Now, as an adult, Nat, played by Nate Parker, ends up working for his childhood friend Sam Turner, played by Archie Hammer, who has taken over the plantation from his father and is now the new master. But with the property struggling, Sam is offered payment in exchange for Nat going to these different plantations and preaching, using God and religion as an obedience tool, a way of keeping the slaves in line. And it's here where things start to spiral out of control as Nat witnesses horrors that he's not subjected to at the Turner farm, and we, as the audience, have to take in some devastating scenes. Now, jumping back to the beginning of the movie, there's a moment where young Nat is prophesied to be a leader. Now, as an adult, he begins to find cause for rebellion in the Bible and in his preachings. He begins to have these religious visions, and as things get worse for him, the visions become more frequent, and then there's a scene where he's actually punished for baptizing a white man who was seeking salvation. And this is the turning point where he starts to gather men at his side and begins to form a plan of rebellion. And when the uprising does come, it's brutal and bloody as Nat and his followers move from plantation to plantation, and Nate Parker doesn't hesitate in showing us the violence that takes place, but for the most part, it's not gratuitous. Of course, I won't spoil the ending for you guys, but what I will say is that everybody in this film does a good job. Aya Naomi King, I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, does a fantastic job playing Nat Turner's wife, Cherry, and Jackie Earle Haley is exceptionally good as Randall Cobb, not that Randall Cobb, but he does a good job playing a sleazy foreman for the plantation, and Nate Parker, well, he's really good in this film. The Birth of a Nation does serve up some powerful moments, but it ultimately falls short due to a lack of emotion and some bad timing. The story is an important one, and Nate Parker does have plenty to work with and go off of, but he fails to make us feel every relevant moment. The story should have dug a little bit deeper to make something both unsettling and thought-provoking, and it does at times, but not consistently. And as for the bad timing, well, it's kind of a shame that 12 Years a Slave came out in 2013, just a few years ago, because it's a far superior film. And I know that maybe we shouldn't be comparing the two because they are kind of different stories. They share some similarities, but I just couldn't help myself. I was sitting there in the theater and I kept thinking about how The Birth of a Nation pales in comparison to such a powerful and moving movie as 12 Years a Slave. 12 Years a Slave is full of just raw emotion, and it's arguably one of the best films we've been given in recent history. And I just couldn't help but compare the two on some levels, and when you start to do that, this movie really doesn't hold a candle to 12 Years a Slave. But hey, Nate Parker's efforts shouldn't be overlooked. There are some fantastic moments in this film, as well as some beautiful shots, and the man definitely has an eye for filmmaking, and if this is any indication, he does have a career in acting as well. And for those reasons, I'm going to go ahead and give The Birth of a Nation a B. It's a solid film, and it's definitely one that's worth checking out. So that's it. And if you guys do see Birth of a Nation, go ahead and let me know what you thought down below. And of course, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I do appreciate it. And if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more movie reviews, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you guys next time.